Good morning, friends. Happy Monday. Here's your Monday Minute. Today, I have Stephanie here with me. Stephanie is one of our counselors at Mayfield, and she's going to be talking today about her knowledge around the concept of nutrition. She's going to touch on mindful eating, and we'll even touch a little bit on the concept of an eating disorder.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me back on the show. I'm excited to be here. And I wanted really to share with you today the concept and idea of mindful eating and what that looks like and how it can be beneficial for you. So mindful eating, it can really be surrounded by eating, but then also like consumption of liquids. So water, coffee, ice water. So what mindful eating is sitting down maybe for a meal, maybe for a snack, or maybe just taking some time throughout the day to have something sweet or have something salty. And you put the food item or the drink in your mouth, and you just sit with that food item or the drink in your mouth for a few moments and just notice what comes up for you.
I actually have some snacks here that I wanted Stephanie and I to kind of give you an example of what it looks like to eat mindfully, because I think this is a new topic. It has not been talked a lot about, at least in my circle of people. And had I not been given the example the first time I heard about it, I don't think I really would have known what it meant to be mindful or to hold the food in my mouth or recognize the flavors and things like that. So we're gonna give you guys an example with our snacks that we have here. Man, it's challenging to do.
It is. It is really challenging to slow down and think about kind of what's going on for you. So some of the things that came up for me, so I am eating a Cliff Bar and the flavor is chocolate brownie. And so the first thing that came up for me was like, man, I would really love to eat an actual brownie right now. Like that would taste so good. But the texture, it was a little bit gritty. And the aftertaste, like even right now, I can still taste chocolate brownie in my mouth. Slowing down and after I swallowed everything, I have this almost like tingly sensation in my jaw, which is really awesome. And it made me realize how little I have eaten up to this point in the day. So it made me realize how hungry I actually am.
Yeah. So I had a granola cup, and the flavor was almond butter. And so the interesting thing about this was when I put it in my mouth, nothing happened because it's harder. It's more of that like biscuit cookie texture. And so I had to chew, but I almost had that concept of, oh, I'm not being mindful because I'm chewing and working my way through it. But I realized, oh, I have to chew in order to find the flavors and get some texture in my mouth. So once I started chewing, I've really noticed it's actually really, really salty. Even though almond butter kind of in my brain would register as something sweet or smooth, because it had that biscuit texture, it almost was a little bit crackery. And it took a little while to actually get the flavor until I started chewing, and I tried to slow my chewing down than what I normally do. And afterwards, the flavor didn't stick with me super long. But more than anything, kind of the saltiness did. And I don't know that I've ever recognized that before, and I have had these before, so.
Yeah. So you brought up a really great point. When you first started talking, you were talking about how when I first put it in my mouth, I noticed I should be mindful, and I'm chewing and I'm not noticing anything. And oftentimes when we are trying to be mindful, we get super judgmental about ourselves and what that experience is like for us. And so kind of one of the core pieces of mindfulness is approaching it with a non-judgmental attitude, just letting whatever happens happen and being okay with that and not thinking that you're doing it wrong or you need to do it a different way. There's no right or wrong way to do it. The experience is going to be different for you than it is for me, even if we were consuming the same exact food item.
Yeah.
So it's going to be different. Every time it might be different for the same exact food item. And however it happens for you is perfect. It's just the way that it needs to happen. There's no right or wrong way to do it.
I love that. I think that's a great point. And here's an example. Both of us are therapists, and we are not perfect at mindfulness. So that's why they call it a practice. It's something that you have to practice. It's like exercising a muscle. It's not strong right away. You have to work at it, and it takes time. And even for professional people like us, it still takes time to be mindful, and to recognize that concept of non-judgmental acceptance in the process. Stephanie, thank you so much for being here and teaching us about mindful eating. Friends, get yourselves to Friday, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday.